Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha, and I am the creator of Kyron Horman Case Revisited. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a good weekend. I'm really excited about my first live. I want to thank everyone for being here, for supporting me, but most of all, I want to thank everybody for being here and supporting Kyron and his family. That is what is important. We need to be bringing awareness to Kyron's case, whether we are sharing his pictures or joining lives like this. Like, that is what's important. The community needs to still see his face. Can everyone hear me okay? Can someone give me a thumbs up or anything and just say you can hear me? Am I talking too loud or anything before I continue? I'm not seeing that. No one can't hear me, so I'm going to assume that you can. But like I was saying, the community, when and if this case moves forward to the DAs, if somebody is actually prosecuted, the community is going to have to be involved to support the DA's office and everything else. So, hi, Raising the Reaps. Glad to see you here. I don't know if you're new or have joined my Facebook group, but I really appreciate you being here. I want to start off by telling everybody why I created this channel and my Facebook group, Kyron Horman Case Revisited, Discussions and Case Studies. On my Facebook, that's what we do. We discuss a lot of things. We go over theories. I have many case studies on different people that I believe could be suspects. And yeah, come over to Facebook, join us. You're not going to get bullied over there. You're not going to get blocked. We love hearing everybody's perspective on this case. My mission is it's simple. I want to bring awareness to Kyron Horman's case. I want to bring a visual and a huge eye-opening perspective on the area where Kyron disappeared from. I take videos of the school and the area, of the search areas, and I even have people come to me and say, hey, I got this theory, can you go check out Cornelius Pass Road, or can you go check out a farm? And if it's possible, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to take a video of it, because somebody asked me, can you go take a video of it? Because they need that perspective while they are studying their theory, or why they are, coming up with other possibilities. I'm going to show you a little peek. It's a very short 2-minute video. I picked the shortest video on my Kyron Horman Case Revisited page, just to give you an idea of what I do. So I'm new to this, so bear with me. This is my first live. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Hey, everybody. So this is Samantha from Kyron Horman Case Revisited, and I am at the Cornelius Pass Railroad Tunnel. It's actually located at the end of Skiline Boulevard and Cornelius Pass and Rock Creek Road. There was a caller at 10:45 p.m. on the day that Kyron came up missing. A tipster called 911 to make sure officers checked the train tunnel in the area near the school. The caller said sometimes kids play in there. Wants to make sure that someone has checked the tunnel. And it does look like kids or teenagers do come down here. This is the railroad track. Right there at that crossing is the end of Rock Creek Road. And if I were to go left right there, it actually takes me to the end of Skiline Boulevard. I could probably walk to the school from here in 10 or 15 minutes. It is not very far from here. This tunnel goes underneath Cornelius Pass Road. It also hooks up with Suave Island and the Willamette River. I also believe it says something about going to Tualatin Valley and North Plains. So I just wanted to come here. They searched here for Kyron after he came up missing because of the tipster that called in. It took me and my husband a minute to find this place. We kind of got lost, but I found it. Hurrah. This is as far as I'm going. I'm literally shaking because we are on an active railroad. So I'm just going to end this video right here. Everybody have a great weekend. Right. So I don't know what is playing here. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Another video started playing. Like I said, I'm new at this, but that's what I do. I go out to the areas where they searched. I go out to the school. I go out and do a lot of driving. I have videos that are so long. I'm local to this area. So when Kyron came up missing, his face was everywhere. It was all over the news. I mean, everyone was talking about Kyron Horman. And I'm not embarrassed to say that I become completely obsessed with the Kyron Horman case. I watch true crime videos and I watch a lot of cold case videos. And since it happened here and it was local and, you know, so many people were involved, I just become obsessed with it. You know, he was a 7-year-old, beautiful, happy, smiling boy who wore big, thick glasses. You know, he touched my heart. He touched thousands of people's heart from all over the world. I mean, that's the reason why I created this page, because not everyone is local. Not everyone knows what this area looks like. So I just wanted to share with everyone what the area looks like and hopefully give a better perspective. Today is June 4th, 2023. Exactly 13 years since Kyron vanished from Skiline Elementary School. I can't even imagine the pain and the heartache that his parents have gone through today or in the past 13 years. You know, they probably didn't think that the day Kyron came up missing that they would still be waiting to see their son 13 years later. I have a little script here I would like to read to you. It's very simple and it breaks down Kyron's disappearance without me talking about any of my case studies and theories or without any speculation. Because today we're just going to focus on the facts and the chain of events. And then I'm going to go over the area where Kyron came up missing, because I really want to save, you know, all of the speculation and the theories and everything else for later lives, later, you know, broadcasts, because today should be about Kyron. It's been 13 years and he's still gone. So Kyron Richard Horman was born to Desiree Young and Kaine Horman on September 9th, 2002. Kyron was a 7-year-old American boy who disappeared from Skiline Elementary School in Portland, Oregon on June 4th, 2010, after attending a science fair. Local and state police, also with the FBI, conducted a search and launched a criminal investigation, but have not uncovered any significant information regarding Kyron's whereabouts. Kyron's disappearance sparked the largest criminal investigation in Oregon's history. Desiree Young and Kyron Horman divorced 8 months into Desiree's pregnancy with Kyron. The two had been granted shared custody of Kyron until 2004, when Desiree was diagnosed with kidney failure. Kaine took over custody, but Desiree was still very active in Kyron's upbringing. In 2007, Kaine married Terry Moulton. Kaine became romantically involved with Terry in 2001 when he and Desiree were in the middle of divorcing. Kaine and Terry married in 2007, and in December of 2008, Terry gave birth to their daughter. Meanwhile, Kyron was a student at Skiline Elementary School near Forest Park in a rainforest. I have some people talking in here. We got Angie Willett. Can I have you listen to a tarot read on Kyron Horman? Her name is Sloan Bella. She did a good read on Kyron. I may have already watched it, but, you know, I'm always down to reading anything. I want to talk a little bit about Kyron himself before I go on and talk about his disappearance. Kyron was a happy boy. You can tell by looking at the pictures of Kyron, you know, his big, huge, gigantic smile. That is what stole my heart. That's what's stolen everybody's heart, right? This smile, this beautiful, loving smile. He loved his family, and he looked forward to spending time with them. He loved school. Kyron was good at math, and he was very smart and intelligent little young man. He was shy and timid, but had lots of friends. He liked to play soccer. He took swimming lessons, loved to go fishing, going to the beach, camping. He loved cars like his dad. He loved going to the Portland Zoo. And we all know that he loved tree frogs. That's what Kyron's science fair project was on June 4th, the day he disappeared. He loved a few songs, and 2 of them were Abracadabra by the Stevie Miller Band and the song Fireflies by Owl City, which is actually what I will leave the live with, playing that song. I hope you join me while it's playing. I hope you use all of your positive energy, your prayers, you know, to put that out in the world, to maybe, you know, put that effort out there, put that positive energy out there to help find Kyron. You know, just take a moment to think about him and his family. Let's spread the love to his family right now, because we know today is a hard day for them. 13 years, and they don't know where their son is. Now I'm going to hop into the disappearance. On June 4th, 2010, Kyron was taken to Skiline Elementary School by his stepmother, Terry Horman, who stayed with Kyron while he attended the science fair at Skiline School. Terry stated that she left the school at around 8:45 a.m. and that she last remembered seeing Kyron walking down the hall to his first class. However, Kyron was never seen in his first class and was instead marked absent by his teacher, second grade teacher, Miss Porter. Terry's statements to the police indicate that after leaving the school at 8:45 a.m., she ran errands at 2 different Fred Meyer grocery stores until about 10:10 a.m. Between then and 11:40 a.m., she stated that she was driving her daughter around in an attempt to soothe the 18-month-old's earache. Terry said that she then went to a local gym and exercised till about 12:40 p.m. By 1:21 p.m., she had arrived home and posted photos of Kyron at the science fair on Facebook. At 3:30 p.m., Terry and Kaine walked with their daughter to the bus stop to meet Kyron. The bus driver told them that the boy had not boarded the bus and to call the school. Terry called the school only to be informed by the school secretary that as far as anyone there knew, Kyron had not been at school since early that day and that he had been marked absent at 10 a.m. Realizing then that Kyron was missing, the secretary called 911. Kaine picked up their daughter and he started rushing toward the vehicles to drive up to the school to find Kyron. Now you have Kaine and Terry up at the school, frantic. They are probably turning the school upside down. They are hollering for Kyron. They're looking in closets, underneath the school desks, down hallways, calling out, Kyron, Kyron, where are you? In hopes that they're going to hear something. Dad, I'm over here. Walking around the school, walking outside the school, calling. And Kyron's not coming. Kyron isn't responding. They're not finding Kyron. Kyron is gone. Can you imagine that? I cannot imagine that. I have 3 kids. Back in the day, if someone would have called and told me one of them was gone, I don't even know what I would do. If one of my kids called me now and told me that one of my 6 grandkids is up and gone, yeah, I do not know what I would do. I mean, I'm sitting here investigating a missing child, and their family is a stranger to me. And what I would do, I would move heaven and earth after freaking out, and I would do anything to try finding my child. I can't imagine what they've gone through. I mean, they are doing everything they can to find their child, but they're also having to live their lives. They're having to work. They're having to go every single day thinking about their son and still doing everything that they have to do to make it. I mean, I can't even imagine. And 6 hours has gone by, people. 6 hours. And no one knew Kyron was missing. We all know because we're here on this channel right now. We are all, true crime junkies. We know how important those first few hours are. They are the most important hours when a child is missing, when anyone is missing. And he has been gone 6 hours. That is a long time. For instance, Portland, Oregon is, right close to the Washington state line. And California is on the other end. And then, of course, you can get into Idaho. But I'm telling you right now, in 6 hours, you can get all the way up past Seattle and Washington. You can get out of the state of Oregon going east and into Idaho. And you can go through the entire state of Oregon and into California in that 6 hours. Like, he could be long gone. That would be terrifying for me to know as a parent, that it's been 6 hours and no one knew he was missing. 6 hours. It blows my mind. And then you have Desiree. She is at work and the secretary calls her to tell her Kyron's gone. He's missing. And they've called the police. Not Kaine and not Terry. The secretary called Desiree. That floors me. How is that possible? How is it that the parents do not call the other parent and say, hey, Kyron's gone. We don't know where he is. The police have been called, something like an explanation. Give me an explanation, please. Don't have the secretary of the school tell me Kyron's missing without a bunch of other information, because I'm a mom. I'm Desiree. I need to know more. Desiree has to call Terry herself and ask her what's going on. And she tells her Kyron's missing. There's not a lot of details. She just explains to her, I walked him to his class. I saw him walking towards his class, and, Now he's gone. He wasn't on the bus. Well, Desiree ends up telling her, I'm on my way. I'm coming. She's in Medford, Oregon, and she's telling Terry, I'm coming to Portland. Now, Medford, Oregon is about a 4 or 5 hour drive to Portland, depending on traffic. And before she left, she knew she had to contact her husband, Tony Young, who was an active law enforcement officer and who was attending a police gathering at the time that Kyron came up missing. He wasn't even at work. Tony had even warned Desiree that there was no cell phone service where he was. So imagine that. Imagine being Desiree and she needs to call her husband and there's no cell phone service. I know I need to call my husband in an emergency. I need to talk to him when, something's going on that's important. And just to know that there's no cell phone service, like I would be losing my friggin' mind. I would be losing my shit. I am telling you right now, like I would be losing it thinking I can't get a hold of my husband. She gets a hold of the police department dispatcher. And she explains to them that there's an emergency and that her kid's missing and she needs to reach her husband. And the dispatcher keeps her on the line and the dispatcher ends up interrupting a phone call on the landline on the property where Tony is. Now, Tony gets on the phone and Desiree tells him that the school called her and told her that Kyron was missing and also informed him that she is driving to Portland. And they end up discussing whether or not, he's going to come with her or not. And he ends up joining her. And they leave Medford about 5 o'clock. Now, I can't even imagine that drive. Here I am, a mom. I know my kid's missing. My phone's sitting right next to me. My husband was drinking at this police gathering, so he can't drive. I have to drive. I have to drive 4 to 5 hours. And from what I understand in Desiree's book, like she's hauling ass going down this freeway. I would be doing the same damn thing. And she's got to have her hands on the steering wheel. She's got to focus and concentrating. Meanwhile, she's thinking, where's my son? She's expecting a phone call any minute to say, hey, we find Kyron. We found him. You can go back home. That's that. But that doesn't happen. She has to keep driving. Hours she drives to get to Portland. I can't even imagine that horrific drive to Portland from Medford. I bet that was the longest drive that Desiree has ever taken in her life. Kaine and Terry had to answer a bunch of questions up at the school for law enforcement. And then they went home. Sitting at home, you're not able to do anything. You're not up at the school looking for him. You're just sitting at home, probably walking around through your house. Kaine's probably asking Terry, what happened this morning? What's going on? She doesn't know what to say. And the search is in full force up at the school and in the surrounding area. And you're stuck at home because law enforcement says you need to go home. So you can't even be involved in the search for your son. That's just crazy. It's crazy. I got Tim Blanche. Thank you for keeping precious Kyron in the public eyes and mind. You are as amazing, Samantha. Thank you so much. Raising Reaps, it is insane. It is absolutely insane. I cannot imagine any of this. As a mother, as a grandmother, I would be freaking out. Now, I've put together a bunch of clips because I want to show you guys the area. I want to show you guys, I want to paint a picture for you is what I want to do of how this went down, what this area looks like. So let me just play. This is Kyron's house. Now, I'm going to add this stream here. I want to pause it. This is Kyron's house. Kyron's house is in a neighborhood where there are street lights, basketball hoops, houses, one right after another, cars parked in driveways, roads, and street signs. He lived in the country on 5 acres of land in a very secluded wooded area, right off of Cornelius Pass Road. Cornelius Pass Road is a big, huge, windy, uphill, downhill road. This is a picture of the driveway that goes up to Kyron's house. Look at those evergreen trees. Look at the ferns. This is the kind of area that Kyron lived in. We're talking neighbors lived hundreds of yards away. They're not, right next door. This is at the end of the driveway. This is a picture of a ravine that's probably 60 feet deep, just below the driveway of Kyron's house. That is more of that ravine. And in this picture, there's a little red dot up at the top. I marked out the address. That little red dot, that's where Kyron lived. Look at that area around his house. I mean, just southeast of his house is a rainforest. Not many people know that. Through my investigations and everything else and looking at maps and everything else, I had a map pop up, and I also seen somebody took a picture, and they work for the Oregonian, which is a local newspaper here. And at the bottom, he put rainforest. So I saw it 2 different times, started looking into it. And yeah, there is a rainforest southeast of his house and directly behind Skiline School. So now let me show you the area around Skiline Elementary School. This is Skiline. This is the west side of the school where the soccer field is. The corner there on the right is the very front of the school. This is a side view from the west where the soccer field is of the school. And in the center there is the school. Now, north of the school is where the rainforest is, in the back of the school. So all that wooded area that you're seeing there towards the top, that's all a rainforest. We are talking full of evergreen trees, tree stumps, dead trees, knocked down trees, ravines, drop-offs, blackberry bushes, ferns, poison oak, poison ivy, huckleberry bushes, and animals. There's coyotes, cougars, and small black bears back there. This is not an area where you want to imagine your child is lost or taken to. Now, down at the very bottom right of this picture is Skiline, and that is more of that rainforest and part of Forest Park back in the top part of the picture. Forest Park is a big forest. Now, the dot at the bottom of this picture is the school, and the dot at the top is where Kyron lives or lived. I just wanted to give you a little bit of perspective. It's probably only about 2 miles from Kyron's house where the school is. It's not very far, but look at all the woods. Look at the area. I mean, you have creeks, you have ponds, there's moving water everywhere. I mean, right over Highway 30, you have a large channel, you have Sauvie Island. There's a bridge to get on and off Sauvie Island. It's one way off, or one way on and off that island, unless you're going to take a boat to get onto the island. Let me remove this. I talked about Forest Park a while ago, and I want to show you something. Forest Park. Now, the green area is Forest Park. Forest Park is the biggest forest in Portland, and it's the largest urban forest in the United States. And it's located about 8 to 10-minute drive from Skiline Elementary School. And it's also a very rural, secluded, wooded area. Hikers and bikers go down there. There's a whole bunch of trails. People travel from everywhere to go there to see Forest Park. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. People that live up here in the Pacific Northwest, we love it here because we have mountains and hills and waters and beaches. We can go swimming. We can go fishing. We can go hiking. We can go skiing. We can go do anything you want to go do recreationally. I mean, like boating, anything you want to do, you're going to be able to do it here. And everybody likes to go to Forest Park. And Forest Park has been known as a very bad place. I mean, I personally haven't taken a video yet at Forest Park because it gives me the creeps. There's been a lot of dead bodies found in Forest Park. A serial killer was killing hookers in Forest Park and dropping their bodies there, believe it or not. And yeah, I mean, you'd park your car to go on a hike there or something. You come back and your windows are smashed. Whenever I went there to take a video, I've done it 3 or 4 times now. But every time I pull up to go take a video, all I see is a bunch of broken glass laying on the ground. And all I keep thinking is I'm going to come back and my car is going to be broken into. So I really haven't, taken any videos there. But I do plan on doing that sometime. But that is Forest Park. This is Forest Park here, the long gray area there. Now, the arrow is Forest Park, and the start point is Skiline Elementary School. Like I said, it was about an 8 to 10-minute drive to get to Forest Park. And then this is what most of the trails look like in Forest Park. I found a picture from June 2008. I couldn't find one from 2010, but this is what you're dealing with in Forest Park. It's pretty much the same as the rainforest. Like, you got thick trees, you got evergreen trees and bushes, you got everything. This is a forest, The search efforts and the search for Kyron were done by so many people. I mean, this is the area where people were searching. You have divers searching the water, boats. There were boats all over in the water. You have trailers, horses. Horses were involved, dogs were involved, helicopters were involved. Fighter fires, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, FBI. I mean, I don't know. There were so many people passing out flyers for Kyron. There were so many volunteers. There were so many volunteers that they had to start turning people away. You know, around 300 trained rescuers were on the ground searching the wooded areas near the school on June 12th. And the search for Kyron lasted 10 days and was one of the largest searches in Oregon's history to date. It included over 1,300 searchers from Oregon, Washington, and California. I mean, people really got involved. The community came together like a family to support Desiree and Kaine. I would have been so overwhelmed. It's just absolutely crazy to see how many people, you know, got involved. When I'm watching the news during that time, oh wow, the media is showing the pictures of everybody coming up to the school. And I mean, you had everybody showing up. Well, like I just read, Oregon, Washington, California, there were people from everywhere. You know, they put together a couple of things too that I just thought were really amazing. Let me just rewind this. Hold on 1 second. This was a vigil of hope for Kyron. Look how many people showed up for him. Look at the community coming together. Kids from school, parents, strangers. Then they make the wall of hope for Kyron. You know, toys, stuffed animals, letters from kids, letters from parents, homemade pictures from children whose hearts are just broken that their friend is gone and missing. They're scared, you know, they just want Kyron home. The school now has up there at the school, they have a bench for Kyron now too. And they also put out like this little brick next to the garden area, which is, you know, beautiful. And yeah, here's the bench. I just thought it was really cool to see those things when I went up to the school, because I had no clue, you know, that the school had done those things. They are keeping Kyron alive. They are keeping, you know, the awareness going. Like I said earlier, awareness is important. I want to show you guys. Well, let's go through this first. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read something. I wanted to read this because it's a little part from Desiree's book, and it gave me the chills when I read it. I mean, I want you to just picture in your head that it's pitch black outside. You're pulling into the country roads in Portland. Kyron's gone, you know, and then all of a sudden you see this. Desiree and Tony get into town and it's dark outside. Desiree prepares to turn down Northwest Skiline Boulevard towards the school, but Tony says, no, we need to go to the house first. As they looked east, they could see lights. The school's parking lot had become a command center for law enforcement. Huge RVs filled the parking area. Other vehicles were parked across the road of the church and at a nearby fire station. The lights in the sky were created by generators, headlights, stadium lights, searchlights, and helicopters shining lights on nearby woods. Instead, inside the two-story brick school, every light blazed. Media satellite trucks with their dishes pointed at the sky hogged what little room there was on the side of Skiline Boulevard. Other vehicles clogged Northwest Cornelius Pass Road up and beyond to the turnoff to Kaine's house off of Sheltered Nook Road. I mean, Wow. Right then, things just got real. I mean, you've already had 1,000 things go through your mind on your drive to Portland, but seeing all of that, I mean, lights, helicopters, wow. All up above the school looking for your son. For your son. I mean, how would you feel seeing that? I would probably lose it. I don't even know that I could even be driving for one. Like, props to Desiree for even being able to drive. And Kaine and Terry, they've already had their moment of fear and panic, and they're still panicking. They're at home wondering what the hell to do. You know, you hear about missing children, but you never imagine that it can happen to you, or that it would happen to you or someone close to you. You don't imagine that. I mean, you're not even imagining that you're still going to be looking for your son in 13 years. Or that you wouldn't be any closer to finding him than the first day that you started. I mean, at what point do you decide to file with the court the paperwork needed to make this a cold case? Do both parents have to agree to file that? That's what I've heard. Both parents have to agree to file something with the court to make it a cold case. So is one or the other parent just saying, hey, you know, I don't want to say it's a cold case yet? Or do you try to hire a private investigator? I know that it was mentioned on the news just recently that Desiree was talking about wanting to hire a private investigator. Props to her. Like, I would be doing everything I can to try to find my son. Where would you go from here? 13 years have passed. You do not have your son. You do not know where he is. You have no information. This kid flat vanished. There's nothing. There's nothing. Let me share another video with you. It's done by Kyle Eboshi from News Channel 8, KGW. He's been following this case since the very beginning, and I want to share this with you.
The case is still, quote, open and active. Investigators are using new software, digital forensics, and advanced mapping to help. But 13 years later, there are still no answers, no sign of Kyron Horman. It was June 4th, 2010, when we got the call. A second grader had vanished from Skiline School in Northwest Portland. Police searched the area all night long, but found nothing. They distributed photos of Kyron Horman. The missing second grader wore a black T-shirt with CSI printed on it the day he disappeared. Soon the FBI got involved, and the search expanded. The investigation stretched on for days, then weeks, then years. No one has ever been charged in the case, although investigators have focused on the boy's stepmother, Terry Horman. She dropped Kyron off at school the day he disappeared. Terry Horman has long denied any wrongdoing. Last year, investigators released this age progression image of Kyron Horman. This is what he might look like today. Kyron would be 20 years old. Late today, I spoke with Desiree Young, Kyron's biological mother. She'll never give up.
I'm just committed to Kyron and making sure, no matter what, that we find answers and we can bring him justice. And I pray that we get to bring him home.
There's a $50,000 reward for information leading to the resolution of Kyron's disappearance. If you have any information, you're encouraged to call the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office.
I love Kyle Eboshi. I've been following him for a while. He's done an amazing job following this case. I also want to share another video with you. It's been done over the weekend because Desiree is over in Portland. She's trying to raise money doing a car wash. And I just found some of the things that they said inside this video pretty interesting. So let me play that for you.
There are still no answers to the disappearance of Kyron Horman. 13 years ago, the second grader was last seen at Skiline School in Northwest Portland. The case prompted the largest search and rescue operation in Oregon history. Police searched all night and distributed photos of Horman, but they found nothing.
I wish that we could have protected him from this.
Desiree Young has been searching for her son since that awful June day. This car wash is an annual fundraiser.
That side is good to be sprayed down.
For more search operations and a private investigator. Young says she is working with Multnomah County Sheriff Nicole Morrissey O'Donnell, who has a unique connection to the case. Morrissey O'Donnell's husband, Bob O'Donnell, was the lead investigator after Kyron disappeared.
When they have a personal connection to the case and have been, connected to it ever since day one, I think that gives them more energy to want to solve it for us.
Young says she met with the sheriff in Multnomah County District Attorney's Office Friday. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says the case is open and active. Investigators are now using new software and digital forensics.
We won't give up until Kyron's found and justice is served, however long that takes.
No one has ever been charged in the case, but investigators have previously focused on Kyron's stepmother, Terry Horman. She dropped the second grader off at school the day he disappeared.
I just want to say to Terry, we're coming for you. Don't sleep.
Terry Horman has denied any wrongdoing. While law enforcement continues to look, volunteers wash cars to raise money for future searches.
That tire is done.
While Young continues to
fight until the end, until we can bring him home.
If you have any information about Kyron Horman's whereabouts, you're urged to contact the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. And if you'd like to get your car washed in support of Kyron, you can find out where volunteers will be all day Sunday on our website, kgw.com.
I think that Desiree is so strong. She is always out there doing something to advocate for her son. She's always doing something. I was going to go out there and get my car washed today, but I got all stressed out about this live show. Oh, let's see. We have Tim Blanche. I thought it was odd that the stepmom was surprised that Desiree was coming to look for her son. What the hell? She is definitely involved. And so many people think that, Tim. So many people think that she's involved. And I'm not saying that she's not, but I've also done a lot of case studies that point in other directions. I have a lot of perspective. I'm wide ranged. Don't hate on me for that. I want to look at all possibilities. And, I recently called and talked to Detective Tabor. He's the new detective on the case. We had a very good conversation, and it lasted about an hour a few weeks ago. And he's amazing. He's very invested, and he's down to earth. He takes Kyron's case very seriously. This isn't some 9-to-5 job for him. He literally takes Kyron's case home. I believe he'll have something to do with this case coming to a close, actually. After speaking with him and knowing what kind of hard work he's putting into this case, I really believe he could be involved with this case coming to a close. You know, he's had to go through everything to get all of the information in this case organized. The case was a mess when it was handed to him, so he's had to work really hard to do that. Funny too that I go crabbing in Garibaldi, Oregon, and I'm on the dock crabbing, and a man comes up onto the dock with his son and his son's friend, and I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking, oh my God, I know this guy. Where do I know this guy from? And a little while later, he's talking with someone and he's telling them, yeah, I work for Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. And I literally say out loud, oh my God, I recognized you. I recognized you from the Facebook group that I follow for Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. And I just started, laughing. I told him about Kyron Horman Case Revisited, my YouTube station, and told him about my Facebook and everything that I do. And he told me, sometimes it takes people like me to get involved that, people like me could help. I might actually find something. When I'm doing these videos, I'm really hoping someone's going to see something. Something's just going to snap, and they're going to see something and come forward and call the tip line. That's what I really hope for, because it's possible. Sometimes it just takes a picture or a scene or something to just trigger a memory, and that would be great. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it could. That guy I ran into, he'd worked from the Multnomah Sheriff's Office for 22 years. And he shared with me that he really believes that Stanton, which was the sheriff when Kyron came up missing, was the reason why this case was a mess. And I came home from my crabbing trip, and I'm always investigating and looking into Kyron's case, who could have taken Kyron and stuff like that. I never investigate the investigators, the sheriff, the DA, or anything. But I come home and I'm like, okay, I've heard Stanton's name before. Who is this guy? What's he about? And he became sheriff just the month before Kyron came up missing. I did not know that. So, here you are, brand new sheriff, and boom, huge case fell in your lap. You got a missing boy. You have the largest criminal investigation in Oregon's history and the largest missing persons case in Oregon's history, still to this day. And something else that he said was that these case files had to go from paper to the computer. And it wasn't done right. It wasn't done right at all. It was downloaded into the computer as one great big file instead of being organized in a way where, things could be easily accessed, like just trying to find certain information. So it kind of goes with what Detective Tabor said to me on the phone about the case being a mess. And more about Dan Stanton. So let's see. The election night for the new sheriff was May 18th, 2010. The former sheriff stepped down early and handed it over to Stanton to succeed him. Former Multnomah County Sheriff Bob Skipper handed off his job to Dan Stanton. It's time for his successor to go, is what he says. The union representing the patrol deputies issued a statement saying there was no confidence in the sheriff. Skipper met with Stanton twice, both times urging him to resign. Skipper told the Tribune that he asked Stanton to resign for the good of the agency based on what he's hearing from Stanton's employees. Skipper says he lost faith in the sheriff's ability to lead the agency and get along with other people. It just blows my mind that the union president, Matt Ferguson, says Sheriff Stanton leads ruthlessly and unpredictably through fear and favoritism, threatening to fire those in his way, yet rewarding those who get in line. He was fostered an environment of hostility where those who constructively criticized his actions are met with retaliation, threats, and name-calling. Skipper was the first former top law enforcement executive to call on Stanton to step down. He is the official who swore Stanton in as deputy. Skipper said he's kept his concerns private in the past, but he was no longer going to stay quiet about it. Skipper said that when the news first broke that Chief Deputy Linda Yankee had filed a notice of a potential lawsuit over her treatment by Stanton, he began hearing from people inside the agency that there was a bigger problem with the sheriff. I feel the agency has slipped, not the people there, but I think the leadership has slipped. And I guess I would say I'm disappointed with how it has been played out. He's concerned that Stanton doesn't seem to have good relationships with the district attorney, Rod Underhill. Underhill signed a letter urging the Oregon Department of Justice to investigate Stanton. I mean, are you seeing this history? The sheriff isn't even getting along with the district attorney. How can you be looking into a missing child's case and a whole bunch of other cases, and not get along with your district attorney? You know how hard it's going to be to present any kind of information to your district attorney if you're not getting along with them? We have Andrea Thomas. It's time the truth be discovered. It's been way too long. And I absolutely agree with you. It has been too long. After hearing a 22-year, Multnomah County Sheriff's officer, deputy, whatever he was, talk about this, saying that the sheriff could have been the reason why, I mean, it's starting to make sense to me now that I'm starting to look into it all. And the money plays a huge part of all of this too. I mean, winning at this case goes to court. The city of Portland and Multnomah County has to be ready for it. The DA has to be paid to prosecute any individual or individuals involved with Kyron's disappearance, kidnapping, death. I mean, right now, as it sits, how can the DA move forward when they don't even know what they're supposed to prosecute somebody for? Is this a kidnapping? Is this a murder? Is this just a kid missing? Did Kyron wander off and get lost and just never found? No one knows, because Kyron's never been found, dead or alive. So how is the DA supposed to move forward? I am going to play another video of McCain. I want you to hear what he has to say. He kind of mentions the money situation.
Attorney Bruce McCain is a former captain with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. He joins us as he has many times in the past over the last 3 months. How are you doing this morning?
Fine, Harry. Thank you.
Let's talk about this a little bit. This notion of, they basically say, we don't have the money to continue this investigation the way we have. We would like to have this multi-force, this sort of combined effort to be able to go forward. What's the likelihood they'll get what they're asking for?
Well, what's strange about this, Harry, is that they've already had a task force in place of many jurisdictions. The big issue, even though the sheriff says this is not being scaled back, the fact is when you're the lead agency and you're now paring back to where you're only going to be 30% of a task force, there's no other way to describe that than scaling back. The real problem here is that he's now going to try to shift up to 70% of the cost of this investigation to smaller cities and jurisdictions that have nothing to do with the Kyron case jurisdictionally. That's going to be a tough sell, unfortunately.
Right.
So by default, this is going to be his case whether he likes it or not.
Yeah. There really is still no suspect per se in this case, correct?
No, that's absolutely correct. And that's part of the frustration here. So you've got $1 million of tax dollars spent already with no suspect, no person of interest, and frankly, not even an identifiable crime, which continues to frustrate everyone. So at that point, this is going to be a tough sell to some of these other jurisdictions to pick up the tab for this investigation.
And the sheriff says this is not going to become a cold case, or it's not a cold case now. But there's certainly, if it looks like it, if it sounds like it, you have no crime as you just described. Just in the immediate future and for the weeks and months to come, unless there's a body found, unless there's a crime scene, unless somebody comes forward, what happens here?
Well, Harry, I think the person who was most conspicuous by his absence yesterday was the district attorney, who's actually driving this process. He was not part of this conference. In fact, he had told the media earlier that this is not a slam dunk. There's nobody with a smoking gun. He's looking at this as a long haul case. And for district attorneys, of course, that means potentially years. So this actually could turn to a cold case without any break coming up soon.
Wow. From all of your experience, having served in the sheriff's office as experience as an attorney, what would be a break in a case like this? I mean, this is unique on its own level, but in these long-term cases, what usually has to happen for a break to transpire?
Well, it's going to be one of two things, Harry. It's either going to be somebody who actually knows what happens to Kyron, not somebody calling up a tip line and actually knows, or what often happens in a case, especially in a case like Oregon, where you end up having a hiker or a hunter or somebody stumbling across physical evidence a year later. That's happened more than once in this state, given its geographical description here.
That's a tough reality out there. Bruce McCain, thank you so much. Appreciate your expertise. Really do appreciate it.
All right, Harry.
Well, that's what he had to say about that, and that's what I was talking about. I mean, how do you move forward? There has to be money, and so much money has already been spent. I mean, Portland has gone through a lot the last few years when it comes to having to clean up the city because of all of the riots and everything that were down there. I mean, they're really struggling. So, I wanted to read another thing here. About the old sheriff that talked about Staten. He was concealing public records, and that's a criminal misdemeanor under Oregon law, because Skipper urged Staten to resign because he had heard that his earlier attempt to present the message had been portrayed internally as a message of support. This time he read aloud to Staten from a letter. I am concerned that things are going to get worse for you and the sheriff's office if you remain sheriff. So after reading it, he handed it to Staten, who took it with him when he left. And then later on, Staten acted like he never got the letter. I mean, from what I get out of it, he had an ego. He sounds like a narcissist. Things had to be his way or no way. And that's just not how it works in law enforcement. I mean, law enforcement's like a family. You have to work together. And if you're not working together and you're not working with the DA correctly and you're not working with your deputies correctly, you're not going to solve any case, not just a missing boys case. You're not going to solve it. You know, here is a video of him, Dan Staton, talking. I want to play this for you.
First of all, before I start, I want you to understand that as a sheriff of Multnomah County and talking with the district attorney's office, with the FBI, with the investigators involved, we have no evidence that indicates that anything other than the fact that Kyron Holmes is still alive and that we are going to continue this investigation under that premise. We have scaled this down to an operation where we have 20 detectives that are currently working on this investigation 24/7. These detectives are not only from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, but from other agencies supporting us. That includes the FBI. We have had to date, as of the last conference I had with our detectives, we have 2,877 leads or tips that are valid that we are using in the course of this investigation. To date, we have about 60% of those leads covered, but each lead has developed something new for us to look at. The reason this investigation has become important to the sheriff's office and to all of the public safety entities is because, one, it involves a child. The second is it involves a school. With it being involved regarding a school, the school is one of the safest places that we expect our children to be, with the exception of our own homes. And because of that, this investigation has become critical. This is a unique type of investigation. The way the investigation is handled and how we move forward is completely unique in how we handle this.
And there's Staton talking about the case. You know, after everything I've read, I just don't trust him. I just don't. Does anybody else in here know anything about him that they're willing to share with me? Because I'm kind of digging deep right now into this sheriff. You know, if you have any information that you want to share with me, you know, you can message me, get a hold of me on Facebook. You can message me here. I'm really interested. So I wanted to also share with you guys the interview, the very first interview that Kaine and Desiree and Tony and Terry did in the very beginning. I mean, this was probably one of the most heartbreaking interviews that I have seen yet. And it's pretty much because of the way that Tony and Kaine hug each other. You can just tell that Kaine is going to fall apart here. Let me pause this for a second.
Hello, my name is Tony Young, and I'm Kyron's stepfather. The family has asked me to speak on their behalf today. I would just like to say, Kyron, we miss you, we love you, and we need you home right now. We're doing everything we can to work with law enforcement and the search and the rescue crews to make sure that you can get back to us as soon as possible. We want to say how much we appreciate the outpouring of love and support, prayer and thoughts as we wait for you. Your school friends and their families, the teachers, the staff at your school, and the community as a whole have shown how much impact one little boy's smile can have on a community. You mean everything to us, and until you come home, this family is not complete. Please, Kyron, keep up the hope. We believe in you, and we know you will be back with us soon. I'd like to now introduce Kyron's father, Kaine Horman.
Hi, I'm Kaine. I'm Kyron's father. We want to thank the community, the parents, the children, bus drivers, and all of those who are being interviewed multiple times to help find Kyron. Thank you. We as the family know how difficult and stressful this is, but your memories and statements can help us find Kyron. We will never be able to thank you enough for that help. Finally, we would like to thank the media. If it was not for you showing Kyron on every newscast, printing his story in the papers, his face would not be known to everyone. People from around the nation have seen his picture. This helps tremendously. Please help us bring Kyron home.
It's so heartbreaking to see the parents. I mean, right after Kyron came up missing, even today when I watch the news and Desiree's on or Kaine's on, they're heartbroken. 13 years have passed and they don't have any answers. Let's just hope that this new sheriff, and the new detective can do something. Multnomah County Sheriff's Office posted a few days ago on Facebook and said, Sunday will mark the 13-year anniversary of the disappearance of Kyron Horman. Kyron was last seen at Skiline Elementary School in Portland, Oregon on June 4th, 2010, attending his school's science fair. He has not been seen or heard from since. At the time, he was 7 years old. Kyron has brown hair, blue eyes, and wears glasses. He also has a distinct V-shaped strawberry birthmark on his forehead. On the day of his disappearance, Kyron was wearing a black t-shirt with CSI in green letters and a handprint graphic. He was also wearing black cargo pants, white socks, and black Skechers sneakers with orange trim. Kyron may have had his glasses on at the time. Kyron's disappearance continues to have a profound impact on our community. The case remains open and active. Investigators are using advances in software, digital forensic, and geospatial. I do not know how to say this word. I am sorry. Technology to support and advance their work. In collaboration with our major crime team partners, the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office and the FBI detectives are pursuing all legitimate investigative leads and will continue to do so until Kyron is located. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children have provided an age-progressed photo for Kyron. A $50,000 reward is available for information leading to the resolution of Kyron's disappearance. You can help us by sharing any information relating to this investigation. You can do so by calling Multnomah County Sheriff's Office tip line at 503-988-0560. 13 years, and there has been no one named a person of interest or a suspect in this case. That would be a horrifying fact for a parent who's lost their child. I'm going to be doing another live tomorrow morning with Brooks from Crime, Lines, and Lies. It's at 9 a.m. Central Time. That's 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time here. The name of her show is 13 Years Gone. Where is Kyron? There are a lot of people covering his story right now because 13 years just marks, it just makes a mark, actually. Makes a huge mark that he is still gone. He is still missing. He has not been found. I would like to do a Q&A if the people here are willing. I can't really see who's here besides a couple of people. I see 4 people are here, but if anybody would like to have a discussion and talk about a few things, I'm willing and ready. I mean, I know this case inside and out. If you want to get into any logistics, now's the time. If anybody doesn't come forward and want to talk about the case, I'm going to play one of Kyron's favorite songs. And I'm going to light a candle for Kyron while the song is playing and probably let it burn for a while. Is there anybody in here that wants to talk? The time went by so fast. I was so nervous to do this live. All I've been telling my husband all day long is that I felt like I was going to puke. And I've been going for an hour and almost 20 minutes. And I've had a great time. I'm really glad that there were a few people here to join me on this live. I'm just floored that it's been 13 years. And, I've put in a lot of time and effort investigating this case. Doing case studies and coming up with theories. I love hearing new theories from people. And, some theories might lead to something, because on all the Facebook pages, I've been told that the investigators and stuff watch the Facebook pages. So if you have a theory and you want to join us over on Facebook, Kyron Horman case revisited, discussions and case studies, come on over. I welcome you to come talk about any theory. You're not going to be bullied over there. I know we have a lot of people, Terry did it. That is fine. If you think Terry did it, tell me your theory. Tell me how you think Terry did it. Tell me how you think that she had the time to do it. If you think Terry and Dee Dee did it, tell me your theory. If you're one of those people that think that it was somebody completely different, I want to hear it, because I want to follow any and all leads. I want every kind of perspective you can think of. I want to be looking into this case. If you have an area out there by the school or Kyron's house that you want to see, let me know. I will go out there and take videos. I love the drive out there. It's a beautiful country. Me and my husband go. I never go out there by myself. We usually have lunch and some kind of picnic. We usually make a day of it. So I do not mind going out there. And my husband doesn't mind. And, I'm very invested in this. As Detective Tabor knows, he actually told me that I do an amazing job. And it was talking with him and just knowing that what I'm doing is making a difference. And it was talking with the guy on the crabbing dock from Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. And recently, my daughter all of a sudden decided to start a bracelet business, and she's doing lives, going to be starting to do lives on her Instagram. And all of that together just inspired me to be like, why are you so scared? You bought your computer a few months ago, and you still haven't done a live. Well, I was being a chicken little, and then a couple of days ago, I decided to download StreamYard, and I got into it and realized how easy it was going to be for me to do. And I did it. I put this together in just a couple of days. It was kind of stressful, but I'm glad that I did it. You know, I've had people inspire me. Tim Blanche, great live. You were so awesome, Samantha. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really hope that everybody enjoyed the live because I've just been really nervous to do this. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing that I think Tim Blanche is my girlfriend Susie's husband, my admin. I don't know if I'm correct. Let me see. I think I'm right though. Anyway, they have been quite involved in the case. They have recently also talked to the detective. You know, he wanted to talk to me. Detective Tabor wasn't one of those guys that was just going to ignore me or treat me like I was stupid. He actually wanted to have a conversation with me. If you have any information, you know, calling him, talking with him, calling the tip line, don't be scared. Do not be scared to call and talk to him because he's going to talk to you like you're a friend of his, like you're a buddy of his. Like he wants your information. He's working really super hard on this case. Like I said earlier, you know, he's taking this case home. He isn't just working on this when he's at home or when he's at work. He told me that he has like stuff pinned up about Kyron at his house. So if nobody's got anything else to say, I want to end this live with one of Kyron's favorite songs. I really like this song too. It was a lot better than putting out Abracadabra because it was kind of like abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. And I kind of thought that was really inappropriate for this kind of live. Even though it was one of his favorite songs, it just wasn't one that I wanted to pick. But light a candle, say a prayer, send out your positive vibes. You know, Kaine and Desiree are having a bad day today. They are not okay. They are remembering everything. I'm sure they've gone over June 4th, 2010 in their head a dozen times today. At least if I was Kyron's parent, that's what I would have probably done today because I'm just one of those people that's really sensitive to dates and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and play his song. Did the stepmom traffic him? Damian Cole. There has been talk that Kyron may have been trafficked, but there is no proof of that. I know that the team got together and looked at something overseas a few months back, but it didn't go anywhere. I'm not sure if that was because, I'm not sure if that was something that had to do with trafficking or not. I know a lot of people theorize about trafficking, though. I mean, Portland, Oregon sits right on the corridor of I-5, and I-5 goes through Washington State, Oregon, and California, and it is one of the freeways in the United States that is known for trafficking. I personally do not believe that Kyron was trafficked because I can't see. I mean, normally when a child is trafficked, they're picked up from a store or a rest stop or along the I-5 corridor around one of the interstates. And where Skiline School is, they're off of Skiline Boulevard. It's kind of really out of the way. It is close to Highway 26, though. That's my own personal opinion. But I don't believe that he was trafficked. But anything is possible at this point since we don't know where he is or what has happened to him, right? I mean, he could have walked off. Terry could have taken him. He could have been kidnapped. I hear people theorize about the teachers. I hear people theorize about the police department and stuff being crooked. And I have heard... I've heard theories on several different people. I'm not going to go into detail about their names and stuff. I'll save that for a future live, but I have done case studies on almost 10 people. And that's including Terry Dee and Rudolph Sanchez, which was Terry's landscaper that came forward and said that Terry hired him to off Kaine. But yeah, they're just part of my theories. Like I said, please join me over on my Facebook, Kyron Horman Case Revisited, discussions and case studies. We're always talking about theories over there, and I love hearing them. I love hearing them all. So I'm going to end this live right now with playing the song Fireflies from Owl City. Light a candle, pray, send it positive vibes, to Kyron, to Kyron's parents today. I'm sure it was a rough day. Thank you all for being here and joining me today. Thank you for supporting Kyron and his family. Everything we do, every time someone comes on this live, every time someone talks about him on Facebook or any of the social media platforms, we are bringing awareness to Kyron. Detective Tabor said that keeping his name alive is what we need to do, and it's because we need to keep the community involved. We need to make sure that the community never forgets Kyron. I don't think that they ever will, but we have to make sure, because if this goes to the DA and someone is, arrested, the community is going to be a huge part of supporting that trial. The community is going to help, the trial move forward in a way with, just the involvement with the media and the coverage, and people will start sharing. So we really have to share his picture. We really need to share his age progression. He would be 20 years old now. He could have piercings, dyed hair. He may have contacts, a beard, or a mustache. Yeah, he is a man. He is no longer 7 years old. 13 years has passed. So, keep him alive. It is so, so, so important to keep him alive. We can't, listen to some other Facebook groups that claim that they know for a fact that Kyron's dead. If we go out there and we're saying Kyron's dead, then people are going to stop looking for Kyron. And we don't want people to stop looking for Kyron. We want people to keep looking for Kyron until he's found dead or alive. That's just what we have to do. We have to keep looking, and we have to keep sharing. God bless everybody for being here. God bless Kyron and his family. Kaine, Desiree, if you get a chance to listen to the live, my heart is with you. I really hope that your son is found soon. Have a good evening, everyone.